different areas, but at the end we are researching the same thing about how social good or social common, how we can make this world better, especially with Olga. We work together with children. So it's very interesting. I think that the method and the instruments that I used, I found like a brand new research to do, especially from the children. What they told me in the focus group was very, very interesting.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, here we have something common, which is social good and human dignity.
Yes.
So I would say that in every research project that we have been talking about, we want to highlight human dignity and the good for everybody. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Gloria, again, with human coexistence, what method did you use for your research project?
Okay. In this part, I use to review documents because the first thing that we found was that coexistence has a lot of research into the school, but no outside school. And the question is how that happens. And for the reason, now we are review public research and with in order to found a concept to organize the development of the research. And in the same time, we are exploring some experiences, social experiences outside school in order to look for how they coexist, how they solve your conflicts, how they use some parameters to establish ways to peaceful or a calm relationship between different generations, different professions, and in order to organize their social lives. This is now the situation.
Yeah, the world today needs conflict resolution, negotiation, peace building, and I think you are working towards that aim as well.
The object not is precisely conflict, is coexistence. We know that the conflict is a part of coexistence, but the focus not is in conflict, is in coexistence. We know that the conflict is a support of the relation, but not is the topic, the specific focus.
Yeah, this is coexistence beyond school.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. David, which are the areas, you mentioned that there are 4 main municipalities or towns in Caldas that have this potential for this tourism sector. Which are those towns in Caldas that have this potential?
On Caldas, the management plan of the Coffee cultural landscape described to the 4 departments that have involved in this nomination, Caldas, Quindío, Risaralda, and north of the Valle del Cauca. Just Quindío have the most developed potential to the tourism activities. The other departments have some incipient potential. In Caldas, 4 municipalities have this incipient potential, and are the next municipalities. Belalcázar, with his Cristo of Belalcázar, this is a huge monument, and his existence, his presence is the reason for many people visit this town. It's the only attractive in this town because not have many big hotels, not have another cultural expressions, but has a monument, a big monument, the Cristo Rey de Belalcázar, and it is his major potential. Yeah, it's a public potential. Rio Sucio, it's another municipality with some incipient potential. in this case, the potential is represented for the Carnaval del Diablo, that is a public fair celebrated each 2 years. And his public party, his public fair, is massive fair. It's to recognize it internationally. I mean, like an tourism offer. And so, it's 2 years. Rio Sucio, it's full of tourists, of people not from Colombia, it's from another country. Yeah. Another 2 towns, Salamina and Aguadas, is part of the Heritage Village of Colombia. This is a nomination to another village, small village on other departments of Colombia, and in Caldas, Aguadas and Salamina are involved in this list of Heritage Village. Yeah. At least on Salamina have the night La Noche del Fuego. This is a public event celebrated on December, but this activity invites to many tourists from Colombia and other countries. Yeah. And in Aguadas is characterized for his handmade hats. This is one of his major symbols, is an immaterial heritage of the people. And for these reasons, these 4 municipalities have some incipient potential in Caldas to develop some tourism activities.
Okay, it's interesting talking culturally about to know about these parts, this wealth in culture that we have in Caldas as well. Okay, thank you, Erik. Olga, this assistantship to Fundación Niños de los Andes, is that an ongoing process, an ongoing project, or is something that you already finished?
No, in this moment, it's a project. It's a social project, okay? Because at the beginning, it was just at random, yeah? Because some of our partners and me were involved in the social work. But now, it's organized, it's official, okay? Since 2013, okay, we are involved in this. And at the very beginning, it was necessary to make something like a diagnostic test, yeah? Because the population is very irregular, okay? Since the very beginning, and they are older, 20, 25 years old, okay? That's why it was necessary to do something like a diagnostic, to know or to identify the real necessities they have, okay? Because we have to do different ways to work. Jorge and me, we go to the Fundación Niños de los Andes, and we work in the afternoon with the children. And the other group, they come to the university and they take classes here with some students of technology, okay? They give informatics classes here at the university in the systems classroom, okay? And it was also necessary to change the dynamic, the traditional class, yeah? Because most of the time they are involved in very hard situations, family problems, drug addiction, okay? They have different situations that are really complicated in their environment. So then they have consumed drugs, and they are in a very hard process, okay? Physical, in the sound, okay? Because it's not only to go with academic information. Before you go with the subjects, with the workshops, you have to be next to them to try to understand their real situation, okay?
All right, thank you so much. Okay, now we're moving towards the results arena. And Juliana, what can you tell us about the results of your research?
Well, there's a lot of factors. The first one is about the concept of cyberbullying. So I interviewed teachers and specialists in advertising, and even the children, and especially of our parents and parents too. For parents, it's a confused concept. So that's something that we have to work with them, because as Gloria said, we have to coexist school and coexist with the parents. So this is not like island. So they have to communicate in a correct way. Teachers have the concept very clear, but they think that the same bullying and cyberbullying, and those are two different types of violence, because one is in silence, so it's very different. So that is not the same, but the teachers say that is the same. It's some violence, but for me and for the research, it's two different types, because one is in silence and another is physical.
Mm-hmm.
Children is different. They know exactly what bullying is and what cyberbullying is. And we're talking about children in 8 to 10. They know exactly what it means and how it works. So I think that we sometimes think that children doesn't know a lot, but they are very, very, very intelligent. They have different skills than us. So it was a very significant finding. There's children react different to content. That's another result. So that's tell us that we have to create content different for them. We have to decode how they understand, how they watch the image, how they watch the sounds. Especially we have a tool that is wonderful, like the game and the digital game. But we have to be very careful, because advertising can put these children in danger, developing digital content that can expose especially these phenomena. So it's complicated, because we have to talk about them or speak with them through the digital media, any display that you can use, but you cannot put them on risk. So we have to create some strategies through the game, could be, but they like game and education. It's like a combination of those two. So it's very difficult to develop, and especially because when we're talking about social welfare or social commons issues in advertising, that's not as creative as commercial is. It has to be different. You have to be more creative, because we have to make a change into a habit of a person, especially children, because they are developing their personalities. So it's a complicated issue. So I think we have to be very, very, very reactive, and we have to be very creative to develop this content. And identify, that's another result. We have to identify who our target is. The children, yes, we know. The teachers also. But there's a group of children that is very important in this phenomenon, the bystanders. Those bystanders could be the difference in changing this. We can find some negative leaders, yes, but those negative leaders don't have power if the community doesn't empower them. So the bystanders are a very important group of people in children, or group of children. We have to be very, 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 very we have to pay attention on them. So this is like the results. As I say, it's a baby step. I found a lot of things, so I have to develop like five other researchers somehow.
Okay, that's very interesting, and that's why digital literacy is also one of your main categories.
Exactly, because we don't know how to do that, even adults. So how can we expect the children know how to do that if we can teach them?
Thank you so much, Juliana. Gloria, is there anything you can tell us about the results you have already obtained or expected results?
Okay, and results obtained now, it's most important to a complex concept of human coexistence. In general, we found that human coexistence is an experience to living with others. That's okay.